Okay, so Rossi, big news in the wrestling world. John Cena is back, a return out of nowhere. So, well, the wrestling terms out of nowhere, you know what I mean. Is there anyone in sports, TV, movies, music, or even wrestling that you would like to see come back? Because I'll tell you, I have at least one.
Now, this is dead or alive?
Let's keep it to alive. Something that like John Cena could actually happen.
All right, I'll try to just give you quickies. Like when you sent this, the first thing, like sports, like I would love the electricity of having like Manny Ramirez one more time, one more at bat, just blasting dingers. And music. You know, actually, I think today is the 4-year anniversary of the death of Chester Bennington. Never got to see Linkin Park live, so that's kind of a hole in there, even though I know you said not back from the dead. So I can't really, like a band that I would want to get back together that isn't currently, don't know if I have one there. John Cena probably would have been my other one, but obviously if they're alive and I could get them in like their prime, I'd love to see one more like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels match. Not today, Bill. Not today.
Okay. I'm going to keep with people who could probably still do it, at least in their profession. So
like you, baby, on a Saturday night slapping some meat.
Yeah, we'll see. So I'm going to go my guy, Andre 3000. I know he was shocked from making music, but I think he still could offer stuff because he was great in his time, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. So I'd love to see that. And then, of course, she's retired from her business, but in her day, Lisa Ann, top of her profession.
Lisa Ann.
Sorry.
You try to hit it, and that's what happens, Bill. Nobody saw that. Let's get to the damn show.
Well, if you talk to the average teenager of today and you ask them what it is about pop culture that they like, and the first thing they'll say is the beat.
Get yourself addicted.
Welcome into the Pop Culture Pile Driver. Get addicted to the content. I'm Jason Rossi. Can be followed along all social media platforms at Jason D. Rossi. And this here program that you are listening to, watching, wherever you're finding us, can be followed along on social media at Pop Culture PD. We occasionally pay attention to that account. And if you do smash that follow button, it will instantly make sure your lunch break never gets moved. And with me, as always, is my tag team partner in the podcast sphere. He can be followed along all social media platforms at Billy D 2411. No, Billy D, 2411. I'm getting so thrown off. I usually read off of something. I don't have that something. It's all off of memory, including his OnlyFans page, which you can now currently get into if you use the hashtag or the promo code Billy's Hot Dog Sleeve. That's Billy's Hot Dog Sleeve. Will get you unlimited access to the bottomless camera during the Pineapple Boys. I've heard it both ways, which you can also subscribe to on your podcasting platforms. And that is my guy here. He's Billy D. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I got the pocket dog, or if you will, the sleeve dog. I'm going to have to take the sweatshirt off for those of you in the audio version of this right now. Just doing my best Tim Robinson. It is hot as hell in here.
I was going to say, when you wore a sweatshirt, I was because I know how hot that studio area is for you. And then, so is that legit a hot dog?
It's a cold hot dog, too, like Emerson.
Oh, God.
It's actually really good. It's not bad. I mean, I might have warmed up a little in my, sleeve, but hello. Yeah, I mean, we're here. We're talking season 2 of I Think You Should Leave. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I think I've seen the first 3 episodes conservatively 9 times.
Now, I just want to be honest. We try to be transparent. I try to be transparent. A lot of things in life. We were aiming to have a different topic. If you've been following along, things went awry. They're totally cool. We can move things. So we pivoted to season 2 of I Think You Should Leave, something we're both watching a ton of. But I've noticed when I finalize my rankings literally 46 minutes before this podcast started, I don't binge the last part of the season as much as I do the first half. Like those last 3, I don't watch them as frequently. So some of the names you had on there, which I think that's my new favorite thing, is what does Billy call this? The sketch. One of them, I'm like, I don't even know what this is until I finally got them. Like,
you know what the deal is.
I really don't know what your deal is, Bill. I never will. You can follow this podcast again on social media platforms. You can check us out as part of the Dorkshire Universe on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Please do subscribe. Give some hits over there. Comment on any of the thoughts of the things we're talking about here. You can also make sure to subscribe on iTunes, or if you are a Spotify listener, Google Podcasts, you have an Alexa around you, just say, hey, Alexa, listen to Pop Culture Pile Driver. You'll hear that fantastic open that we always start with, and then you'll hear us for the rest of the time that you so choose. We greatly appreciate you being here. But yes, Bill, you said it. I think you should leave. Season 2 dropped, I want to say, what is it, almost 2 weeks ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I think it was the 7th or something. All I know is I was up at 3 a.m.
I believe it was the 6th.
Okay, the 6th. So I was up at 3 a.m. because I actually saw the hot dog sketch is the first one that starts the season. We're going to rank them in a moment, but I just want to tell this. I woke up, my son was having a night, and I went out on the couch because there's something about me. I don't know if you're like this. If I can't fall back to sleep, like almost instantaneous, I gotta move location.
Yep. I'm up for a while. I'll try to clean my room, try to do something to get my mind. Because once you're like, oh, I'm not going back to sleep, you're not going back to sleep.
Oh, yeah. You're in trouble. So I have the, we both are Charlotte's Web. Well, at least I don't know if you still are. But
I'm actually out, and I don't have any tonight, so I'm a little worried.
We got to get you to Vitamin Shop ASAP. But I'm a big proponent of, whether you take a melatonin or whatever you need. But I think that night I did, and I'll take a little something else. Then I'll just go out on my couch, plop down. I'll put something on the television because I am a believer in, not a good thing, but I do fall asleep to television. And it's so funny how like I saw that and I was like, I'm going to watch this. And I'm like, I'm just going to be up because I'm probably going to watch the whole season. Mm-hmm. But I remember the hot dog one, and I was like, this is so different, even though it wasn't like, like watching from season to season now, like 2-3 weeks later, you're like, this is the same thing.
Yep.
In a good way. But like, I was like, oh, this is so different. Then I remember seeing the, I always want to call him Jimmy Havoc, but that's a wrestler, the Carl Havoc, sketch, and I was like hysterically laughing, and then that takes a turn. We'll get into it, but then I eventually passed out, and then obviously I've binged it since. How many watch throughs would you say you're at this point, Bill?
I think in a whole 6 and at least 9 or 10 for the first 3 episodes. So I'll kind of throw it on when I was doing graphics. I watched the whole thing again last night. I did skip one last night, just I'll never watch again probably. But other than that, I loved it. I thought it was in the spirit of the first season. And, right now I'd say maybe not as good as the first season, but like, honestly, there's a couple of sketches that are creeping up from like, I didn't like them at all to now I love them. Same thing. Season 1, hated Baby of the Year first time around. Now it's genius. Didn't like Chunky. So we'll get into our review of all of these. And, maybe we can take a little less time on the bottom half and focus on the top because our last review, we spent 45 minutes ranking the worst. But,
In this, honestly, and you said it in the text, this is like ranking the season 2 part 1, because we'll definitely revisit. I think that's the fun part about a show like this, and obviously it's a big thing with us DSGers. And if you don't know what that is, that's the Dorkshire Universe, including Mac and Goo, Dork, Change My Mind, as well as Shime Time, Dr. Joe, the Stream Boys. All right, so Bill, the way I kind of broke it down, as you can see on our little list here, so you kind of did a good job here. There's 28 technical sketches, but out of the 28, 3 of them are like sagas, if you will.
I saw Mac do that, so that's what I did.
Oh, perfect. So Mac, credit to Mac, right? We got to give him credit.
I mean, the Mac credit you.
Oh, look at you! Did you swipe credit card? Is it like, do you owe him money, or is
you
it
have
like
to work in the area? Like like at those credit unions, you have to be like a member of like the school or something. So you're probably going to be like a firefighter or a family member. Like what's that auto insurance company that's only for veterans?
Oh, I don't even get me. I'm not going to remember. Then like there it is. There's the one. Well, it's not a name yet, but we'll get there. So I broke it down to a bottom 7, a mid 6, and then a hashtag Podcasters Dozen top 11. So we'll start here with the bottom 7. How about this? And unless you want me to go slow through, I was going to say, do you want me to just bang through the 7 and kind of talk highlights of them, or do you want to go one by one?
We can go one by one. We'll just keep it brief. Okay.
So our number 24 ranked. It's funny, neither one of us had this as our bottom ranked, but it just shows both of our bottom ranked ones were a little bit higher. You titled it, and I went with it. Number 24, the bottom of season 2, huge dumps.
Good premise. Didn't really tickle me.
Yeah, I will say this, and I think I heard Keith say this too. And when I don't think there's an unwatchable, and I don't think their lows are as low as the season 1 lows. Like there is some just when we just recently, like, it was like 5 episodes ago, we ranked season 1. Some of those bottom ones, I'm like,
the Scrooge one, I think everyone had as the worst.
Yeah. Just not funny. And it had all these, and we've talked about of this podcast over the past few weeks. There's so many like relatives in season 2 or like same thought process. But yeah, huge dumps. I love the idea, hiring a guy to go in to look like the other guy and just take massive.
He doesn't really look. He does from the back kind of look like him though. Like it's a good idea. I just didn't get the chuckles. I think the only the criticism I would have is that he was in a lot of the sketches this time, whereas he wasn't in as many in season 1. I don't think there's only like 1 or 2 where he's not, maybe 3 where he's not.
No, there's more. I think there are no, because like we don't have to go through them, but like there's more than you think. There's more than
we can point them out as we get there.
Yeah, but in this, so Tim Robinson obviously in this one. Then number 23 for us was Classic Cars, featuring Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah, I mean, I liked this one the first time I saw it, and then as I watch it, it gets less and less. It's like the Baby on the Airplane one. Like it's good. Like the triples. I love the triples. I have triples too. Like that kills me. But other than that, it's not a highlight. I probably had it a little bit higher than you, but I don't love it.
You had Classic Cars
23.
23. I had it as my second to last favorite. I'll be honest. This one I don't laugh during this. This is the prototypical, what's the name of the show? I think you should leave. Like this guy, I think you should like, I get what the show is. And I find it funny. I'm really big fan of Bob Odenkirk. This one just didn't click for me. The premise is funny. Daughter wants ice cream. It's too cold. There's dad are the same age, right? Yeah. We're the same age, right? That's the part.
I have a wife. And she's beautiful. And I have a post of her. And I didn't even want to marry her. like that stuff's kind of funny, but it's not like as funny, I think, as a lot of the other stuff in this season. But there is one look that the girl kind of deadpans him on. And I think that's what you're going to find after we review all of these. Because I think that's what happened with all of this. Like Mac pointed something out in the one of the sketches earlier that like I never noticed, and then when I saw it for the first time today, I was like, "Oh, that is either the Ghost House one." He pointed something out, and I saw it today, and it's fucking hysterical. So we're gonna get into a lot of that stuff, but yeah, Classic Cars, meh.
Yeah, and then next one, we'll call this tier 3 if we 3-tiered it. Then number 22, we have Space Cafe. This features, I always forget this guy's name. It's like Tim something or something. He's part of the Open Office. That's a guy from season 1 who played Howie, who I thought he lost a lot of weight. Then I watched Howie again. I think there was a lot just more makeup and stuff on him, but he still did definitely trim down during.
Yeah, they also made him look dumpy with like the big baggy. They made him look like one of those guys. I liked this one initially a lot. I think it was probably in like my top 15 initially.
Yeah.
And after you watch it, the puke stuff, I do like the premise, but again, it doesn't like sting it.
No, I think, and also the one thing, and I've said this a few times, some of these sketches just end so like abruptly, and this is one of them. But I really do like the premise here. It's like, oh, so tell me more about your sister, and then like they go right into this guy who like does jabs. He's supposed to be like an alien. Then it's like a 16-year-old kid. And he's like, I can't really hear any of the conversation. Like her sister is overdosed on drugs or whatever exactly he says. He's like, is that funny to you? And
her mom had to eat puke.
Yeah. No, she didn't. No diarrhea. She did eat diarrhea. No, she didn't. I thought you said she ate diarrhea. No. It's like get school supplies.
Yeah. I had to watch my dad get murdered. Like, what is it? Euthanized, basically? He got killed. Never let the party die. So it has, like, some moments, but overall, like, it's just too clumsy of a sketch for me to, like, it's no Roy Donk.
Definitely no Roy Donk. Number 21, you're bottom ranked. I actually find this one to be fun. I have a lot of laughs in this one. It's Credit Card Roulette.
It's just so uncomfortable to the point, like, I don't find any of it funny. Maybe when he goes, oh, I should have lied.
And that's the best part. Bill, why is this not Tim Robinson? Matt, we've given Mac a lot of credit, but he was one of the first people I've seen out, including yourself recently. And we had the most awkward handshake, by the way. But after that, he brought up
Tiger Caddy when I saw it.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. It was like a 2-finger grab. It was very bizarre. But he said, and I brought up to him that, like, I don't know why this sketch specifically is not Tim Robinson. This guy
is almost identical to this later, so I think they tried to give this guy a bone. And he's
got to be a friend. But his facials are funny. He's a total night owl.
Yeah. I actually like the head of the table guy the best. I lived in Egypt. That guy's kind of funny.
I also like the way he talks, but like he is Tim Robinson. It's like he's basically trying to be him because he goes, "Oh, Diane, are you still dating that bad guy?" And then she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's a bad guy. That's a bad." And then right as that's the part, I should have lied. It definitely, I can understand it being towards the bottom. It wasn't my bottom 7, but yeah, that was ranked at 21. Number 20 is the Crashmore Saga, and this is the one for me that's having the least return value so far.
Yeah, I mean, initially I liked the "you suck" part. That made me chuckle. I think I had this one super low again. I had the Crash. I actually had it 16. I should probably bump this down further. But the part that saves it for me is the Cosmic Gumbo. Like that to me is fucking hysterical when he keeps going back to the Cosmic Gumbo and how he relates himself.
Bill, you didn't have it 16, by the way. I think I did. You had it.
I'm looking at yours. Okay.
Sorry, you're on the right side. You're on the right side.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I had the Crashmore Saga 21. So that's about right where it should be for me.
Yeah.
I do like, I saw you replied to my email. So, and I was looking at your face instead of mine. But I do like the Cosmic Gumbo part. That part, at least the second part of the Crashmore Saga, saves it for me.
Yeah, I do like the second part as well when he says like not to address him as Santa Claus. He like gets all like he's gonna storm out. There's certain elements of this, and I just like the premise that like he's not Santa Claus now. He's an actor. He can't do that anymore. So there's moments in there, but overall,
I've seen every cock in the world.
Yeah. So then number 19 as we crack here in the tier 3. I like how you called, of all the things, I didn't know what this one would be called before I looked at your list. We call it Jamie Taco. AKA, I call it, I shouldn't have said that. I love my wife. But that's a much longer topic. So this is the guy from Robert Jewell, if I have this movie correct. Very good movie. Haven't seen him since. He's like one of like a legit actor that they got in this one, and I just love the premise of this, Phil.
I hate it.
Just a bunch of guys having a night out, saying stupid stuff like, "Oh, my old lady, you should have seen." And he's like, "Oh, you'd be drinking too if you had my wife." And then he just puts his head down in his hand and goes into that flashback. And the scenes are so loving. The dancing near the Christmas table. He got a role in a movie or the play. Can't get the lines out.
He's a bit of a simp. I kind of like that like little aspect of it. I love Jamie Taco. I like the way he nobody says the lines faster than me. That stuff's kind of funny. My favorite part is the guys like in the beginning. Like, what am I gonna flush for? I'm just gonna take another piss in a minute. Like that's awful.
It's just piss.
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that like I like in this show. But over again, like it's not a bad sketch. Like you made the point earlier. There's no like terrible can't watch it ever again sketch, but besides Credit Card Roulette for me, but this one is just like and that's the thing, like I feel like this season was so top heavy in the way that they stacked them. There's a couple of really solid ones towards the end, but I feel like the heavy hitters are right at the beginning.
Yeah, the one thing also that stands out about this is also this when he leaves. It's like, come on, man, it's my birthday, and he's like, I gotta go. I think it's the most ridiculous one too in some cases because it almost doesn't feel like, and I think you should leave sketch.
And it feels like an SNL sketch. That's what it really feels like.
I completely agree. Number 18 and our last one here in the bottom tier, the third tier, is Tammy Craps.
It is kind of funny. What is it? The Maganudo cigarettes or whatever it is?
Yes. Cigars.
Yeah, cigars. I do like
the girl's an excellent actress. That young girl is going to be a star.
I like the fact that there's a doll that you have to be a certain weight limit for, otherwise you can't handle it.
I'm 60 pounds, and I'm 60 pounds.
And I like the way she like talks down to the girl who isn't 60. Oh, honey, you're not going to be able to handle this.
Oh, girl. And then just she doesn't have farts in her head anymore.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's another one of those and by the way, this one, and we'll get to the other one that, is in the Claire's one. They're in the same episode, which is a little bizarre. Like, It's like, and this is so strange. There's nobody of like any of the other, it's just children actresses and one mom the girl who stuffs her rocks into her pants and her shirt and her overalls to weigh 60 pounds. And then you find out, well, she didn't make it. She did. Yep. And then the girl, the whole thing is just absolutely insane. It makes you laugh, but at the same time, there is something also about like, this might be me, but like children humor where it goes a little dark and be a little bit much. Like it's funny, but then you're also like, it's a little strange.
You know what I say earlier about him being in too many sketches? We've just done like what 5 in a row.
Let me explain. Ready?
He's only in one of them.
He's not in Space Cafe. He's not in Credit Card Roulette. He's not in Crash More Sagas. He's not in Jamie Taco, and he's not in Tammy Craps. That's 5 out of our bottom 7. He's in Classic Cars and Huge Dumps. Next up, Bill, number 17, going into our tier 2 here. Claire's. Not in that one either, is Tim Robinson.
Okay, so this one, though, I think it doesn't get enough love so far out of all the lists that I've seen. But for me, I watched this one. I laughed initially hilariously. And I had 2 friends over from work, and I'll get to a moment that we had in the first episode. But in this episode, my buddy, who's around my age, when he heard the line, I bought my wife a Sibian, and that's the first one. It's like, 2 normal lines. I bought my wife a Sibian. That's when I lost it. He almost hyperventilated. I was worried. Like, we had to rewatch the sketch because he missed the rest of it. Because he was just, it's like that premise is so fucking funny, sticking the old guy in there, and then he just goes off on the tangent. I love it. Like that one crushes, and that's one. I think is that in the 6th episode? That might be one of the last episodes. I think it might be. It's either 5th or 6th.
It's the last sketch of the entire show. It's the
Is
last.
It really? Okay. So it's decent.
Here's that guy's funny. I don't find any other part of it funny. Even the guy sitting watching, I know this. I'm not nervous. I'm like, this. It's just too far fetched. Like that wouldn't. First of all, what's this guy doing at Claire's getting his? So those little things. That older gentleman, hilarious. Don't get me wrong, steals the show of this. Like very funny. And then
really not lovers anymore. We're really just friends.
Yeah,
like that shit is fucking hysterical.
That and then I just sometimes start laughing in the middle of the day. So when I look back in my life, I'll think I was happy, like I was having a good time. That's good.
How fucked up is that, man?
Yeah, seriously. So there's another one. No Tim Robinson. Guess what? Number 16. Also no Tim Robinson. So in the bottom, almost all the bottom ones we've had, only 2 so far feature Tim Robinson. This one, Little Buff Boys Saga.
Little Buff Boys. Oh, what is it? Heads of boys, bodies of men. I had this at 7.
You have this way higher.
This one, like you have to watch it a few times to appreciate it. And I thought it was initially pretty good, but it just grows on me. Who's carved up? Who's carved beef? Who's carved ham? Look at this guy. You're probably a moron, aren't you, meathead? Like him, he steals. Is it Sam Robertson?
Sorry. Continue.
He absolutely steals the show, and the uncomfortable, like the boss being so uncomfortable. I absolutely love the sketch.
Yeah, and I've said this. Like I don't hysterically laugh. Sam Richardson, by the way. I don't hysterically laugh. I do find it funny. This is actually my least favorite of all so far. Again, through these watch throughs, I just don't get down. But I oddly like the stupid commercial. That commercial gets me every time because it's so short and it's in between one of the episodes I like. I think it's right before Stable of Stars or like somewhere in there, and it makes me laugh every time. It's just the way it starts. He's like, I used to be a little buff boy in 1996. I won 25 out of 50 states. And he goes, I should have had Tucson. It's great. And you see, I think the thing that makes you laugh with the tie back is like they try to go with who'd they go with again? Like we'll call it Little Troll. He's like, no, we're not doing Troll Boy. We're not doing Troll Boy.
We're not doing Troll Boy. You understand why we're not doing Troll Boy, right?
That's unreal. There is some laughs there. Just for me, not my go-to. Number 15, we talked about it. The opening of the season 2, Billy was playing through with a cold hot dog like a psychopath.
It wasn't.
Just not for me. But I even find maybe the second part. This is a real quality sketch. It is Hot Dog Saga.
There's a lot of different parts to this. The first part in the office where they cancel it, and he's like, I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And then when they're in the boardroom, the him just like kind of gnawing at the thing, like it kills him. It kills him.
It's Bill. It is so funny. The idea of this one, then he starts choking, and he's almost looking like a zombie, like spazzing out. And they pluck the hot dog out, and then later the callback to this episode, which is like episodes later, is hilarious because he goes, when you get fired from your job and they pretend it's not because you were choking on a hot dog because they didn't allow you to have lunch, they moved lunch. They shouldn't be able to do that. Just like the nuances of Tim Robinson is insane, and the dual sketches here.
It really is, but my favorite part of the entire thing is when at the end, he's like, whose bag is this? After he throws up on it. I almost tripped on it.
Oh, it's so good. So after Hot Dog Saga number 14, this one for some reason always makes me laugh a ton. I don't find it even to be all that funny, but it just well, I shouldn't say, I don't think it's necessarily a good acting or anything, but this one makes me laugh, Bill. Number 14 for us in the I think you should leave season 2 rankings by the Pop Culture Pile Driver is Can't Drive.
And I think we have this a lot higher than most other people, but when he's just screaming incessantly out of nowhere, it is such a great moment. I don't know that. It's just the horn. I don't know that. I?
Not everybody knows how to drive. What are you doing behind the wheel? I don't know. It's just the way it starts too. He goes, do you know how to drive? He just goes out the window. He's like, no, I don't.
Not everyone knows how to do everything. Driving isn't the only thing. It's just such a unique premise, and it's quick enough where it doesn't lose any of its luster.
Bingo. See, I've said it a few times. I'll repeat it again. This season has weird, lingering aspects to some of them. Also just ends weird and like doesn't have like the weird freeze frames or like the weird like one word undertones that you got a lot in season 1. Like they would just freeze and you'd hear no, and then like you move on, or like a little like drum beat out. Also like the little changes in music in this season.
They still had a lot of the same, but they added some like jazzy
like doo-wop.
Some guys who can hit the high C all night long in there. But yeah, this one tickled me immediately.
It did. Now comes the longest sketch in all of mankind. This is, I believe, almost a 10-minute sketch. I want to say
only 3 sketches in this episode, and I think this is the only good one in this episode. This one has like so many things going on, but I do really enjoy certain parts of this.
We're talking about Calico Cut Pants. By the way, the website, not real. Complete missed opportunity there. It just goes nowhere. Maybe it does now. Somebody may have bought it, but I checked it like that next day. But Calico Cut Pants, the most ridiculous premise. This guy, by the way, who the actor in this looks exactly like the former program director for EI, Joe Zarbano.
Really?
Like the man, well, maybe not exactly, like not his face and stuff, but like what he's wearing, the way he moves, his awkward tendencies looks exactly the same. But this sketch, Bill, is insane. Yeah, hold the door.
And then he just does the slowest turn and walk away you've ever seen in your entire life. I like the premise. I like the, no, look it up. Like, and he's so adamant about the guy looking up. And he's already given up. Like, he doesn't even need to look it up. He's like, oh yeah, I guess they actually do sell pants like that.
No, sorry.
And then like the best parts to me are when he confronts him initially for each, like, have you donated yet?
You gotta give. You gotta give.
When he hands him the piece of paper just so casually and it says, look at my face. I can't wait to do that to somebody at work. Just hand them a piece of paper that says, look at my face.
Every part where that, like when he plays he goes, yeah, the guy who started it's really down. I was like, he's got nothing. Like, I mean nothing. It's like PBS. If you don't fund it, it goes away. He's like, you used it, so now you got to give.
God, give. Everyone gives. Like and then like the what is it? You threw my cup or whatever.
No, smacked my cup.
He smacked my cup, ripped his shirt, and like he's basically, we think like if you want to dig deep into the sketch, he's doing this because his wife has deep pockets and he's gonna milk him now for everything he's got. It's a little wild. We do get our favorite guy from Robbie Stark Tracks Records as the guy who runs Calico Cut Pants.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, like I'm sorry, like hey everybody, sorry for the lack of communication. Really been down on my luck. Like everything he said earlier, he repeats the video, and then Bill, they get the wrestler involved, and he goes, "Is this gonna be loud?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Did you try to play with the volume?" But the guy,
I'm not a volume guy. I don't know.
The way the guy acts in the video too, he goes, "That's not." He didn't do that for him. They're friends. They went to high school together.
They lost their virginity at the same party.
Oh yeah, that's those little nuances. The hold the door he does twice. There's a great subreddit of I think you should leave that you would really get a kick out of because a lot of people try to create stories around these characters, and that character they say doesn't actually work in the building. That's why I keep saying hold the door because he doesn't have passes to get in and out. It doesn't explain the end with the red, devilish.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Calico Cut Pants. There's so much to digest now, and that's our number 13. And then just missing out on our top 11, a super quality sketch again.
The biggest missed opportunity in the show.
Yes, and we're talking about the Capitol Room. And she can't stop drinking wine, Bill.
I need a big pour of wine every time I watch a movie and popcorn.
No, yeah, and then there's the face on and popcorn. It's an amazing job again. What's it? Why can't I think of her name? Harrington. Kate. I'm such a fan too.
Harrington?
Is it Katie Harrington?
Addie Harrington. I did watch the Dua Lipa thing that you told me to do, and it is. And I love Dua Lipa. I fucking love Dua Lipa. But she does the most ridiculous premise of a Dua Lipa song.
Oh yeah, Patty Harrison.
She's super talented, and the progression of this is a classic comedy progression. You get the real people, don't bring me a bad deal in the boardroom. I'm a wolf, and if you're a sheep, I will eat you up. And then it's like, what is it? I got trapped in Charlie.
I got sewn into the pocket of the Charlie Brown float. I don't like bald boys.
Every time I see a bald boy, it's just like, and like her, like the don't bring me a bad deal, or I'll meh, 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 meh. And then like the end, like, could it be you? I was waiting for the rest of the four, because I think this is episode 2, the opening skit. Like I was waiting the entire time for a Capitol Room sketch where she just goes bonkers on somebody present. Like that had to have been like
it's got to be out there.
Gone awry. Because it's such a and they had the whole setup. They put so much money, obviously, into the CGI and production and casting those people to play those parts. And they even had like a fake thing for the somebody presenting something in the Capitol Room. So I would have loved to seen another sketch from that, but it just misses out on our podcasters dozen here. But it's a solid sketch.
Yeah, but Patty Harrison will return. But yeah, the other thing about it too is just when she goes, I just get the same amount of money and it's going to get lower every year. That's it. Unless you yeah, until I die. It's so good. Such a ridiculous episode or premise. All right, so now we bust in, Bill, to the top 11. We kick off the podcasters dozen. Number 11 with Carl Havoc.
As I introduced this guy called Carl Havoc, where maybe he tips over your lunch tray, and it's just such like a impractical Joker setup where they do the perfect. It's legit to the T of how you would do this like reality comedy show where he's in there getting the setup with the stupid like bum ba dum music. And look at this guy; he looks ridiculous. Imagine if this guy came up to you. He does such a great job selling it. And his name is Carmine Laguzia, which is fucking
everything. The reason this one, I believe I had ranked pretty low compared to you. I had this one in my technically 11 out of 24. You had it. That might be point based. I can't remember how to do this, but I had it lower than you, Bill. More or less. Oh no, there I could just do it here. 14. You had it at 9. I just think there's two things about this. One, ends horribly.
I love the way it ends.
It just falls off. It's just like done. It just like falls off. Like and the guy just
says he's gonna kill himself. So
no, but then the other guy
okay,
just like
fine.
no. He goes, "I'm gonna rip the head off. I'm gonna rip the head off." He goes,
"That's like the beginning of this. That's like the middle of the sketch."
I know, but then at the very end, he's like, "I don't want to be here." That part you're talking about. That first of all, not funny. I don't find that at all. There's no laugh in there for me. I don't know what it is.
It's funny.
And then the guy like maybe it's his friend who was in the
joking sketch.
The joking sketch. Maybe it's him that doesn't make this funny, but he's just like. You don't want to be there anymore. Like you don't want to live.
Okay. All right. That's it.
And then he's like, all right. He's like, well, maybe. And then he just like ends.
No, it doesn't end. He goes, all right, let's cut it. And then he throws his headset and says, like, F this.
Oh yeah, that's.
And then he's like, well, what's the show gonna be? Like, I kind of like that.
Nah, this ends awkward. Feels like there were some odd cuts, but everything up till then,
there's too much fucking shit on him. You did way too much. He looks. That's the other thing too. He
ridiculous.
looks nothing like you would actually look. Like
No,
nothing.
the
Like,
hands. No one talks about the hands. He must extend his arms because he does like this, and he's
got like a little buff boy suit on with
does.
like a tribal vest and like the ridiculous hair. It's insane.
It really is. It's so freaking ridiculous. Gotta love it though. You just gotta love the whole approach to it, the idea of it, and then just there's too much shit on me. I'm not doing it. What? This isn't funny. I'm ripping the head off. He's like, don't rip the head off. That costs a lot of money to produce. I'm just gonna rip the head off. That's a new sketch. There's a guy under here. It's too good. Hilarious. So then, so that's Carl Havoc coming in with our number 11. So then, Bill, number 10. I don't know how you, of all the things, don't get me wrong, it's the funniest part. Of all the names for this sketch, you go with Cho Jeans.
I mean, it's the best part by far. It's a great progression, and that's the other thing about I think we talked about in the last episode, where like all of these people for the most part work in like real office, right? Because you're in that real corporate room feeling a lot of these sketches, and it's a good progression of like that guy gets someone top of the table, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, as Bill was saying that. No, I agree. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Like everybody, like he gets up on the thing, and like it's so weird. And like then the girls start dancing around, and then he like you can see why he's been in trouble because he's so reluctant to join it.
Yeah, it's the whole time. And then I also like to he flips. Then he goes tidal wave, and the whole thing flips over. The guy hits his head. The whole thing. It's absolutely ridiculous, but at the same time, and I know one of our buddies listening now, Kevin, who told me about it, he's like, this guy must have something with like jobs, like office areas and stuff, because there's such like ridiculous premises in offices, from the hot dog to this, but like this stuff I've been in there, like when the boss leaves, you do something goofy, right? Like
I don't. I might do the boat dubbed over thing, which is a very similar situation to this, where they're with for somebody, and you're like, okay, like we'll put on like this video they've never seen before, but like, who the fuck's gonna get up on the table and start fucking dancing?
Well, that part I don't agree with, but everything else I think is hilarious.
And then, but it escalates to the perfect point, and our buddy Ken here in the chat points it out. It's like I almost killed myself, Julie, because she gave him Cho Jeans.
Total junk.
What are Cho Jeans?
50 waist, 10 inches long, total junk. And I said I didn't want any gag gifts for my 45th birthday a few years ago.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You're basically saying this guy's almost 50, if not 50. So I absolutely adore them just for that ending part, because again, it's perfect escalation of a sketch. Because it's like this guy's doing something weird, and they join in, then you can kind of see him getting on board, flip the wave. And then like I should leave it to you, where he's like, you give me Cho Jeans, I almost killed myself, Julie. And then the kicker is, we all know you married an older guy who isn't that good.
He's not that good looking. She goes, he's very handsome.
And he's just like, Missy.
Yeah, I almost killed myself, Julie. Again, it's another great Tim Robinson face, and the way he enunciates things will always, I still think, is the special sauce here. So then we get to number 9, another appearance by the great Patty Harrison. She jumps back in here, Bill, for a driving school class that we went with the title of Tables.
Don't ask about her job. Don't ask about the tables. I don't want to hear questions of the tables. Like, so this one fucking slayed me. It's, again, rule of thirds comedy. She's delivering tables to like Monster, and they're fucked up. And honestly, you're like, you can't pay attention to like her dying in traffic because the premise is over. Just give her a regular fucking normal job, and that makes this fucking so good.
Yeah, it's really funny. Bill, get a little skip audio going. I think we just got to reload Bill for a second. I'll give him a moment. But yeah, like this one kills you. It really does. There's so many funny things. Again, Patty Harrison is just, I think she's going to become a real breakout star here. I think this is like definitely getting her following way up, especially when touring comes back. But the whole other part of it, when it's like, when they start questioning and then eventually find out, like a guy pulls up to her. By the way, like the people dying in every scene too, for like the studying, if you will. Like I find that so funny how they're like, They're like the progression of like, what are the tables? Where are the and that's all they talk about. He's like, stop asking about the tables. It's not important what she does. Just pay attention to driving. It's just like that classic driving school instructor. You're muting yourself. And he
So we all have that classic driving instructor class where they show you the train thing or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, the training. It's so ridiculous.
Don't fall asleep on the tracks. I think it was hosted by the guy from Growing Pains, the dad. Legitimately, it was 1980 that I watched. So it's a very like poignant thing, at least for me, for the driving class thing. But she kills it, and Tim Robinson is like. And we haven't even gotten to like the Tim Robinson 200 yet, and this is like the first one we really get.
Yeah, he's really good at this one. And then I just like when they find out that it was like a horror convention or whatever it was.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, oh, that's what she is. And then it's like, why is there swearing? She said shoot. Like, it's just good stuff there, tables. It makes you laugh every time. Just the depth scenes, too. Coming in now at number 8, Stable of Stars.
Oh, I'm Stable of Stars. Then again, I don't think it's enough effect. No, he can't. And it's a good premise set up too because this guy gets me the best every year. It's a lot like other sketches we've seen season one. Very similar feel. We have the guy from the Roy Donk sketch. John Carson just fucking hit me. It's just so out of left field.
He can. Oh no, he can. I came all the way.
He can. And like the stars that they get, it's like it's the guy from the Nakeds.
It's all older, like
and George Bush impersonator.
Yeah, I like how people knew that there was another that there was a like Johnny Carson, like she knew right away. And this guy like always comes up with the great gifts, always comes up with it. It gets an impersonator of Johnny Carson. And the guy can hit because of the price. It's not that he can hit all the time. If you pay a certain price, he can't hit. And then the other guy they bring in, he goes, no, he can't hit. You got to stop. And then the people passing out. It really is funny. And the first text I got was from a buddy, my buddy Pat, a friend of ours in our fantasy league, said, how many people are going to try to get Stable of Stars as their fantasy team name?
A really good one, actually. I didn't even that. Pat's always had on fantasy names.
Yeah.
He's always had. I think had Bart, Harley, Jarvis, Landry.
Last year, yeah.
2 years or last year. So, but just such a good price, and he's on fire. And the other thing that I really like, it's like there's no cute restaurants or places I could send him in this neighborhood. It's just such an odd thing to sprinkle in this sketch too. So I think the more that this one, I think will grow on people more because he can, and the weird wild stuff and the cars just fucking hit me. It's brilliant.
It's good stuff. All right, let's rip through these last few here. Number 7, Professor Uribe. I think that's how you say it, at least. This one, Bill, this is my first watch through. Watch it like 5 times. Watch it 5 times. I just love it. It is hilarious, this sketch.
I mean, it's just another one of those. How do you think of this idea? Like, how do you just think of night out with your professor, which could happen? I've had professors in college that I would like to catch up with, and you're talking about it's just so great and get back together and talk these things, and then all of a sudden it turns into just like the most awkward situation ever. He does the classic like, hey, look over there. I'm joking. And then he grabs the sandwich and goes, and then I'm joking.
And he goes, do you want a bite of mine? I would love a bite of yours. Then he grabs it, takes one bite. Hey, I'm going to eat the whole thing. It's just the way he says it. I die every time. And then he eats the whole thing. And then he goes, I'm not going to tell anybody. What? You're not going to tell everybody how it's
like because they're trying to kind of give it like an out, like, oh, you didn't like your food, it's okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, say you, oh, I won't like you're not gonna say like, say you killed the president.
What? Say you're gonna kill the president. I gotta film that.
I'm not gonna say like we're gonna kill the president, and then he takes his phone out to try to get him.
That's the best part. He goes, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna kill the president. Well, say it again. I didn't press record on time.
The best part, because you don't can top that. The best is the next part. Is like, well, I never learned. Like, I had a hard life. I never learned as a child how to share my burger. And the worst part is that if it comes out, my wife will go to jail because every night a little boy got on her. And I was just like, what the?
It's a bizarre sketch, and I love every second of it. It's also a kickoff sketch to set the tone for that episode. All right, coming in at number 6. This was down on yours, high on mine, Bill. I absolutely adore this sketch.
It was 15 out of 24, so not that bad.
Yeah, but I mean lower than at least than I had. You're right. This was my number
3.
3 overall. This sketch has it all for me. It's a complete meaty sandwich. It is the Blues Brothers from open to finish. I think it's the most complete sketch for this reason.
No way.
No.
No.
Let me explain.
All right.
Openings, like all it is people, probably like a bunch of couples up at a, someone's, cabin, and everyone's on edge. No one's having a good time. And like the little digs for like the married couple.
They've done that. Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you've been there. Maybe overseas. And it's like just so funny when they're like, he's like, oh, well, maybe if he put like the,
maybe you could throw it on the trash that he was supposed to build. And it's just such like a common wife dig.
Oh yeah, it's just, and then she's like, I'm gonna make dinner, and then he's just like, do you know where my green bag is? And it's like, why? She goes, I think I can help. And then he goes away, and then everyone's just making little comments. There's a woman doing a puzzle on there. There's a random guy just sitting, and then he comes back, and everyone thinks. See, this is the thing. I think everyone is overdrawn by Tim Robinson's ridiculous dancing. That's like the least effective part of this sketch. It's all the commentary thereafter.
Yeah.
Barbie the dog starts barking like a maniac because he thinks it's somebody else, which is clearly explained by Robbie Stark of Star Trek. Thank you. And then you have his wife being like, please take off the glasses. He's like, man, take off the glasses. He goes, no, man. He goes, what are you doing? Saving the party, brother. And he just keeps dancing. The other guys, and then the dog's barking. He goes, it's because he thinks he's a new person. The guy goes, I think he smells my dog.
That's one of my favorite lines in the whole show.
And then he goes, take off the glasses. He goes, no. And then the woman goes, well, please take off the glasses. And then he goes, he said no. And then the son comes like out of left field as he's telling the girlfriend to continue to turn up the music. And he's just doing his ridiculous dancing.
It's the Blues Brothers. It's the Blues Brothers. It's fucking like our buddy Kevin said this bottom tier. I don't. I think this is worthy of
fantastic.
I think it might be a little bit high because you had it fuck 3.
I love it. I love it.
I do love the absurdity of this sketch. Because it does encapsulate awkward weekend that and we've all been there.
Yes, we've all been there. We've all been there. And then the boy comes out and he goes, Mom, what's going on? And then she goes, can you have your dog start barking? He's scaring my son. He goes, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And then she's like, F you, man. And then eventually when it all ends, he goes, take off, stop. And then the other German shepherd like hits the door. And then he takes his hat off. He goes, glasses. And then he takes the glasses off and he's crying. He's crying.
Me. It's just me,
yeah.
Bart.
Yeah, Barbie, I'm not the Blues Brothers. By the way, this is a really nice place.
I loved it. I really loved it.
The girl doing the puzzle also just is like, it's too loud. There's just like I'm telling you, it just has all the nuances that catch me like the third time through is when this thing skyrocketed for me.
I agree. It's probably not going to get a lot of love on other people's ones, but now we want to kick everyone's.
Yeah, those last 2 are like 2 of my favorites. But here are I think the big 5 in general. We'll go through them. Number 5, the Ghost Tour. Jizz.
Like come shot.
The whole thing about this one, Bill, too, is it's a great story. It's a guy who's obviously strange. You could say adult things. So, Jizz.
I might say whatever the hell we want.
Do all those little effers ever jump out and jizzle over on the walls? It's like
they ever just come like blast like a jump shot, like horse cock, like his mannerisms throughout this are fantastic. And then the guy takes him into the side room, like, yeah, my job, dude. You take your job seriously. You host horse, but I can somebody like that insane talking like that.
Oh yeah. If you've ever been on a ghost tour, that dude is like he wants to be the one that says all the jokes. He wants to be the center of attention, which I respect. But like that is so funny. So when he pulls it back, he goes, I'm having a really bad day at my job. So if you could really just think before
worst day ever.
Yeah. And then he comes out like he's already so emotional. And he's like, I'm not trying to make anybody's the worst day. I'm not doing this for a laugh.
But do any of these
little
ever blast out of the wall. And then it's just such a beautiful premise. And then the thing that Mac pointed out today that I noticed when the lady actually asked like a legitimate question, face in the back, they didn't throw in like cock or anything. Fucking hysterical.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like another little nugget to this.
I think the best
this
part
was the first laugh out loud moment I had, and I'll saying another one about our number one in a second. But it was the first moment. He said jizz. I lost my mind. My mind was gone. And then he followed up with like cum shot.
Cum shot? Yeah, like cum shot. Yeah, it's a ridiculous thing. And I agree. It is absolutely hysterical. And then I think the part that ties it all hilariously, the gentleman kicks him out, get out, you're out of here, man. He kind of walks out, he's a little mopey. And then he goes into so the car pulls up, somehow perfect timing. The car pulls up, he goes, hi, Mom. Did you make any friends? Not really. And the best part is she's like super Catholic. She has all like Jesus memorabilia, religious stuff in there. It's absolutely hilarious. I think that's what makes the whole thing, like the whole thing tie in together, is that like that's why he clearly is going out there, because he's like a part of a super religious family. So now he can say all these ridiculously dumb things. So that again, Ghost Horse coming in at 5. Number 4, Bill, the Dan Flashes saga.
I don't know. Like this was my with a bullet, and it fought hard to be the number 1 here. I absolutely adore this sketch. Shut the fuck up, Doug. Like the fact that some a skunk is one of the funniest things, and this is the most Tim Robinson use. Like he does it a little bit in another, like the I did like the influence of his voices is when you see
doesn't move,
just like me, he doesn't move at all.
He doesn't move. That I think that's one of the best parts. He's just laying on a couch with his ridiculous shirt on, looking like, which a lot of people point out. Good job by Twitter.
Shut the fuck, Doug. You
And then he's talking to Susan. He goes, Susan, you know that they have a shirt like this for $2,000? He goes, you said what?
That shirt that cost $1,000. That other guy, he's not Ruben Rabasa from the Focus Group sketch, but he's really, really, really good in this one. And it's like, I think I was talking to Susan Duck, wasn't I?
And then the fact that he doesn't eat, he just keeps spending his money on the shirts. And then you get the flash for the Creek, which is like on like a hotel, like when you turn the TV on. And then you see Dan Flash, and you see there's one guy in there that is just his face. He's and he's trying. And then one guy's
a bender on the shirt.
Yeah, and he's following. The people are following it. And then the one guy who was in the first season, I believe, is the bald sketch where he's the one doing the promo. He like runs up to buy it, and he's like, that'll be $500. He like hurry up to give the guy the money, and the guy just stands there so stone faced, like, yep, it's $500. Like, and he goes, where the prices only go up
because the patterns are so complicated. I'm not gonna let him stand here and say that the patterns are complicated. They are.
Yeah, like, I never said that.
Every line that he delivers in this is such a different inflection and so like weirdly done that I think this with my number 1 back and forth the entire time.
Yeah, this store has my exact style, as our buddy Kevin said. All right, so
everything in the store I would wear. Yeah.
To let everybody know, our top 3 really, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3 due to like the way we rank them, but they're all tied for number 1.
Are they really?
We rank them. You could have a maximum of 48 points. All 3 of these had 45.
Wow.
So I'm going to name them. We'll go through them. But Insider Trading, Sloppy Steaks, Corncob TV. I have Corncob TV as my number 1. You have Sloppy Steaks as yours. I had Insider Trading as my 2. You had it as your 3. I had Corncob TV as my 1. You had it as your 4. So really, we could, split the difference. I had Sloppy Steaks as my 4. So like, it's all mangled up.
It's like, so we'll stick with the way we had it. Insider Trading, I think, is by far maybe the best sketch, like idea, like execution wise in the entire history that you should leave because one nail the office banter that you would have in an internal chat or text message where you're talking about something real and it's like oh my, did you see his fucking hat? Like you complete with topics and then you're on to the hat, like so sad, so sad, and like the mannerisms that he has with the hat, and then he's in the fucking courtroom too, like the fuck, like that is ridiculous itself. Like, Red Astaire moment, like, blew my mind. Blew my mind.
And the way you said, like, the setup to the execution to then it has like the dumb things, and I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way, but the dice. It's so stupid, right? And so nonsensical.
Fucking with them.
But it works. And it's like, yeah, he walked by. You could see the dice in his pocket. He was embarrassed to let people know he had him. And then he drops him on the floor. He tries to kick it over to the guy that's in the courtroom with him. And the guy kicks him back. Like, what does he even care? The whole thing is so ridiculous. And then the hat.
Oh, the hat's so good with safari flaps and like, what is it? There's so many like little
just when they're in the room.
His face was beat fucking red. I swear to God, I was gonna have a fucking heart attack. The way they talk back and forth is exactly how I talk to people at my work. Things that happened at my work. Like they nail that piece of dialogue, and it's so like perfectly, but in a ridiculous premise. And the fact he's sitting in the like the pinnacle is when it's like bumps into the lady is like, who's that? And like the court reporter does and he's like, don't do the voice.
Yeah, he's like, don't do the voice. And the whole thing also when he's like, when they're in that, he's like, take off the hat. You're distracting everyone. He's like, I'm not distracting anybody.
I've never fought for anything in my life. I am fighting for this hat.
Yeah, and then he tries to roll it off and he gets stuck underneath the guy's wheelchair and there's grease on. He goes, what's the grease doing? The guy goes, you have to grease your wheels. And the whole thing is a mess. It's so ridiculous. And it's all about two people that are doing insider trading, but their conversation, like I said, it really would, like if you and somebody else,
$sign emoji.
Yeah. If you and somebody else were making fun of me, like that's what it sounds like. That's what the text messages would read like. So very hilarious. Like there's no stopping these three. I think these are the big three. I think the big five in general with Ghost Tours, Dan Flash's Insider Trading, and then number 2 for us, Sloppy Steaks, Bill. Slop them up, Bill.
Let's slop them up. Sloppy Steaks at Chafani's, big cut of meat, water all over it. Like,
water everywhere.
Has two pinnacles to me because the beginning part where it's like, oh, when he's like talking to the dad, that would slick back. I used to piece of shit.
No, Bill, but it's the way it's the hysterical start. The baby goes to the guy, and the guy says, "Of course he cries." Like you thought you were going a different way because everyone says that when you get a baby. It's crying. Oh, of course it cries with me, and then it's like, oh no, I think he's just a little tired of it. He goes, no, it's because I used to be a piece of shit.
I used to be piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like, no, and then he goes, no, I think he's just fussy. And then she goes away. He goes, no, and then the boy, you're right. He just does that. His classic, no, it's because I used to be a piece of shit.
This is the mom tells the mom like, you know,
I don't give a damn.
Liked me at all.
Yeah, no, she goes, did you hear her? She thought I gave a rat's ass that the baby was crying. I just know it's because I used to be a piece of shit. You wouldn't have liked me. And then the girl starts questioning.
Like, play for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, he goes, is your hair slicked back? You think this is slicked back? This is
pushed back.
Yeah, pushed.
Like his accentuation. This is why it's my favorite thing. The accentuations into that. And then like call dad, like grandfather out being a piece of shit. And then like I'm gonna hold the baby. No, you shouldn't hold the baby. All right, I'm gonna take my gift. I'm gonna leave. And then the dad's like, no, I used to be a piece of shit too. People can, what is it? Tiny jeans, spiked up blonde hair, chicken spaghetti, get chickalinis. That fucking murders me. And then the best part of the whole thing is his mannerism, the flashbacks of what just comes in and everything's over exaggerated, like the sloppy hair. It's like, no, we're not gonna slop. We're good guys. Let's slop them up.
Bill, it's the music too. It's the stupidest, douchiest auto-tune. It's so bad. The popping champagne on the beach, it's ridiculous. Yeah, the guys, please, no slop in the steaks, and I know slop in the steak.
We're good guys. Come on.
And the steak, by the way, the funniest part, it's only steaks on the dish, and that's all they ordered.
And all you gotta do to make them sloppy, you should add water, which would ruin a regular steak. So I'm doing it now anytime I get a steak.
Oh, Bill, we should go to we're going to Applebee's and doing that then. We should go to Applebee's and slop up some steaks.
We gotta go to Chafani's.
Yeah, we can go to Giovanni's and maybe I have a place like that. And then for us, our number 1 ranked Corn Cob TV, which is the adjacent to Did This Ever Happen to You from season 1. But here's the thing that
I didn't do shit.
Yeah, that's Bill. This guy's pleading, and we've all seen television networks. I'm a YouTube TV guy. You are as well. Like networks are coming in or coming out, and he's trying to protect Corn Cob TV. He's like, I've worked.
Trying to say we're not real.
And then it's like featuring Coffin Drop. Bill, this stuff, when I first saw it, hysterically laughing because I had no idea what was going on.
I laughed pretty hard, but then when I had my buddy, and this is the second skit. This is right after the first one. This is the hot dog thing. My buddy literally lost his fucking mind, just dying laughing at the first ball falling out of shit wood hitting pavement. And it's like, they're bare fucking blue balls or bots hitting like whatever. Like he brings that kind of stuff back, but like the sound and just dead bodies like hitting the ground, the fall straight out of the fin into the hole.
And they're naked. Hey, we're just cameramen. We don't know if they're gonna fall. They just happen to fall out. He's like, I didn't do shit. People are trying to blame me. Like I set it up. I didn't do anything.
They called me a dumbass. I don't care. Like ending, it could just go over the top. I absolutely adore this sketch.
It's absolutely hysterical. It has absolute return value. You can watch it over and over again, in my opinion. And again, it's a premise like when they do the the testing screen in the beginning. It's like you're gonna lose such networks, and then including Corncob TV. Which, by the way, we haven't even said this through this whole show. Plenty of merch for you to grab from.
It's chunky over on TeePublic merch.
Yeah, TeePublic merch. You can check out. It's a chunky, and you have to. I think the Corncob TV might be the slickest TV. I mean, shirt because
that looks great.
It's so nondescript. Like I could just be wearing it anywhere. No one's gonna think twice. Maybe
they think that you could work it. We gotta make one that's also just like on like a polo. It's like
we should all get polos for the DSG for just Corncob TV. But this one has it all, and it's the way Tim Robinson acts. It progressively gets more aggressive and frustrated as time goes on because he's basically having a conversation, like relaying the way he was spoken to by other people of why this isn't a TV show, why this isn't right, why they're naked bodies. It is hysterical.
Absolutely, I agree.
So that is our rankings of I Think You Should Leave. We, instead of running through them all again, just our podcasters dozen, the top 11: Carl Havoc, Chode Jeans, Tables, Stable of Stars, Professor Uribe, Blues Brothers, Ghost Tours, Dan Flash's Insider Trading, Sloppy Steaks, Corncob TV. Those top 5, I think, would be like elite 5. I'm looking forward to other people's rankings. Mm-hmm. I haven't even seen much on the internet. Well, like I've seen websites, but like audio or video version. So I know Mac and Goo and Dork will be doing theirs. So I'm excited to see how they rank with us. And then I'll just kind of take those and place them as just like all of our tops together instead of doing the individual list because that'll be easier. And people will do it because I'll just do it. Anywho, Bill, any other thoughts on I Think You Should Leave season 2?
It's all phenomenal season.
Absolutely a banger of a season. Do we want to hit our normal stuff? I know you're having a little bit of technical difficulties there. Should we wrap it there? Should we make it a strict one?
Yeah. Slap it on the biscuit.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Follow him at BillyD2411. I'm at Jason D. Rossi. We'll catch you all back here next week. Frank says hi.